like you're so right about the bow rifle is more than just
a
a
weapon.
weapon.
It's
Wow, we really just are talking at the same time.
I know.
that was kind of spooky, actually. Oh, I feel like we're at the ritual.
Okay, hold on. There's one thing that I want to touch on before we go to the ritual.
Oh, yes.
Is Zeb being like, what, you're no Lasat, of course he fights that. That's what I want to go over. It's like the first thing I thought when I read that, I'm like, hold up, that's just like Mandalore here. You have Gron and Chava, they're like the Satine, they're the pacifists. They've changed their lifestyle because clearly the warrior way wasn't working for them. Whereas Zeb is more like Bo-Katan, and I hate to say it, but he's more like Death Watch. He keeps those values in him. He's like, what do you mean? We're warriors, we're fight, like that's us, that's our history, that is. Oh, now that I'm thinking of it, that's like something that like Sabine and Zeb really share, is that history that their people went pacifist. And they're here, they're like, what do you mean? Like, I want to fight. I want to fight for what's right, and I want to fight for my people.
I didn't even think about
that.
I didn't even think about it like that. I didn't even think oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. And I feel like there are a lot of things that are difficult for this with this situation for Zeb, because for one thing, it's just like this complete inability to ignore his past because he's in the presence of other Lasat. So there's that, but then there's the other thing where it's like the culture has changed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what he held on to
isn't there anymore.
It's just not a thing anymore. So it's like it's culture shock in his own culture.
Yeah.
And it's like it just went and changed without him. He has so much to deal with. And he has to like very quickly reach this place where he's like, I can face these people and, you know, play this role that they need me to play. And he just literally needs to reach this place where he's needs to be able to look them in the eye, you know. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, he also has to like adapt everything he knows about his own culture to like be something different. Like it's quite a lot.
Yeah, and you can see it show throughout the entire episode how difficult it is for him. I mean, we can even tie this into the ritual. He wants to be the warrior. He doesn't want to be the child of the fool.
Exactly.
He has this need to be the warrior, to protect everyone.
He's disappointed that he has a different role in the ritual. Because when he thinks of himself, or when he thinks of the Lasat, and that would make sense because he was on the honor guard. Yeah. He thinks of warriors, but it's like,
and not just like he was the honor guard. No, he was the captain of the
honor guard. And like he hates the whole idea of the ritual too. He's like, oh, this like, you know, force mumbo jumbo, like what's this? I'm not taking part in this. Prophecies are stupid. Prophecies aren't real, you know. And it's like he wants so badly to reject it. Because I get, because it just doesn't like fit with the picture that he's held on to. It just doesn't, you know, for all these years and for, you know, everything that he went through, he had to hold on to something. Because he still, like, I would say he still loves his homeworld. He still loves his people because of the unending grief he feels over having failed them. And you can't feel like you failed someone without
if you didn't love them,
right? Right. So he had to hold on to something. So he has like this image that he's held on to, and he has this experience that he's held on to from being a warrior and being the captain of the honor guard. And now he's face to face with Lasat for the first time in like who knows how long, and it's just not like that at all.
Yeah, it's not. And I think one curious thing about Gron and Chava is their willingness to accept what happened. I have this whole note on it. I don't know if you read it, but they basically went through their own version of a purge. Yet they're so willing to accept their ways and see that as a means to a better place and a better life for them. Whereas you look at the Jedi, and they held on to what Palpatine did. Like, think revenge is not the Jedi way.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
All three trilogies, except the prequel trilogy, it's more shown in Clone Wars, but or showing otherwise. The original trilogy, they're trying to bring back Palpatine. Sequel trilogy, trying to rebuild the Order, as well as trying to stop who? Palpatine. The prequel trilogy, Anakin. Period. Anakin. But then you also, but then you go into the Clone Wars, you look at Kit Fisto's Padawan, and he's like that Mon Cal. He's like, I need revenge. Like the whole Grievous situation, he needs revenge. Ahsoka, even in season 5, Ahsoka, revenge is not the Jedi way. Anakin saying that to her, and then Barriss, she's literally getting back at the Jedi and then framing it. Oh, I hate her so much. But they all sought revenge, and I'm sure that there's more, but Jedi seem to be holding on to that purge and seeking the destructions that they can rebuild the life that they had. And you can see it with Luke. Luke is the new hope. Obi-Wan and Yoda are training him to rebuild, to take down cities and then eventually rebuild the Order. And then there's Rey. She's being trained by Luke, and then trained by Leia to be that Jedi to stop Kylo Ren, which is actually trying to stop Palpatine, and she wants to rebuild the Order. They're all seeking to rebuild the life they had and destroy Sidious for what he did in the prequel trilogy. And they're supposed to be revenge is not the Jedi way. Well, BS, look at everything that's going on. The true embodiment, they're kind of hypocritical.
They're holding on, for someone who
you're still holding on. Let go.
Yes, for an organization that condemned attachment, and for an organization that is like, you have to let go of your past, and for an organization that ruined Anakin Skywalker for those exact things, they sure are holding on to the past.
Yeah.
I have to say, because even years and years and years down the line, even with people who are almost completely irrelevant, people who are just, they have no real personal relation to the Jedi Order, like Rey, what does she have to do with this outside of being Palpatine's granddaughter? But her as an individual, what does she actually have to do with this? She has nothing to do with this. There's no reason why she has to rebuild the Jedi Order.
No, there isn't.
But there's still you have to rebuild the Jedi Order.
Yes.
And they're holding on, they hold on to that.
Yes.
Always. And it's so funny because that's just so
anti-Jedi.
It's just the exact thing that they've ruined lives over.
Exactly. And I think that's great thing about Gran and Chava is they really exemplified that. Is we need to accept and we need to move on, but we still need to rebuild ourselves. We're not going to do it out of revenge. We're going to do it to better ourselves. And that's what they're doing. And
when we say rebuild in this situation, it's not rebuild what they had. It's build something new.
It's rebuild out of the ashes.
Right. And it's they still maintain a culture,
but they adapt.
Yeah, exactly. They still maintain themselves. They still maintain things that are important to them, or whatever. They still have a culture, but like you said, they're adapting to a new situation. They're not trying to get back what they lost. I've never even thought about the Jedi like that, but that is such a good
point. And I'm saying, I think there's so many parallels going along right now where it's the Jedi and the Sith are basically the same.
You opened my third eye. I feel I'm so enlightened with this.
I think I've made a post about it a year ago. I'm if you really go think about it, the Jedi and Sith are the same. But the Jedi just aren't as aggressive. I almost need to go rebuild that and make a video out of it because it's so relevant that people don't see.
It's really incredible how the Jedi Order keeps persisting under this narrative of rebuilding or building something new or whatever, and they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. they're trying to get back what they had before. They need to
Right.
they need
They're
to
trying
let
to
go
get
of
back
the
to where they were in the High
right.
Republic.
And right, like they're not I literally never thought about it like that, but that is so wild. That's so wild. Their whole thing is like letting go and like not being attached to anything. It's like and the whole attachment thing isn't just attachment to people.
It's attachment to anything.
Anything, because like I just remember I was reading the Kanan comics is what really made me think about that, because Balava has this like line to Kanan where she's like you're enjoying this moment and you're enjoying this like era of life, and she was like it's important to like recognize those feelings, and it's like good to like feel those things, but you can't get attached to it. So like it's not just people, like it's eras.
Yeah.
It's periods in your life, because those things
it holds you
change.
back.
Because it holds you back because those things change. And if you don't change with them, then
you're gonna be miserable.
Right.
Zeb, you're gonna be miserable. Stop holding on. Let go.
Exactly. Like that's me. Like me. What I just want to like I want to give Zeb a hug and then just yell at him like you need to move on.
Seriously.
Like not to be insensitive. Like he's valid.
Yeah.
Trauma's no fun. Being traumatized, that's no easy deal right there. But like at the same time, like you have to move on. You have to move on. You have to accept how it has affected you, and you shouldn't brush it under the rug and say like, I'm like I shouldn't be sad over this or anything like that. But like you can't let it hold you back,
No, yeah.
That is such a huge theme that the show tackles. It's so funny. There's this little just like Y7 cartoon that everyone makes fun of because it looks too cartoony, and everyone makes fun of it because it's for kids. And then it's out here, and like one of the major themes is like, do you have PTSD? Yes. Get over it. It's like a main part of the arc of every single character. There's so much that goes like unsaid about this show.
Mhm.
But it's like you can analyze everything. There's so much. There's too much.
Yeah.
I can't even fit it all into like 20-minute videos. Like it's too much.
I mean, clearly we've been talking for
like
like an hour already.
For like 2 hours. But it's like that's something that just goes on. Like I feel like that goes really unsaid about Rebels. Like that's a really mature theme. There are mature themes in Rebels. There are plenty of mature themes in Rebels. Like
they're just low key.
Right, they're just not being told through like decapitating 5 people on screen. Maybe we're not like in the trenches of war. Maybe we're not like accusing 17-year-olds of war crimes. Like I don't know, maybe we're not doing that. But like that doesn't mean that there aren't like mature things going on, you know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
It's just like presented in a different way. Like
yeah.
We'll leave the war crimes to another era.
Yeah.
That's a lie. We're still committing war crimes on Rebels.
Oh yeah. Okay, so going back to the ritual, I think the way that Ezra looks at Kanan for like permission to join the ritual, big father-son moment right there.
But I also like that because I feel like that's again like Ezra sort of like showing like respect or understanding to other people. Like I feel like he understands that this ritual is like important.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just want to like, because he's an outsider, right? Because he's not a Lasat. He doesn't understand Lasat culture. He doesn't, he's not a part of that. And I guess I like that he sort of like asks for permission from someone who might know better than him. Like, I think
it's also out of respect for Kanan too, because I mean, he looks at Kanan, he's like, "Can I do this? Like, I want to do this, but is it okay with you if I do this? Because I know I don't know how you feel about it, you know."
It's just little moments like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like it lasts for a single second and there's no dialogue tied to it, and you're like, "Oh, I could talk about this for 5 minutes straight."
Yeah.
Rebels, man. This show.
And I think I made the point that I think like Zeb's bow rifle is like kind of like Lasat's version of a lightsaber.
I agree.
Yeah. Because that's super, like, that is a part of Zed. And you look at any Jedi with a lightsaber, that lightsaber is a part of them.
It literally is. Like if we look at like Trials of the Darksaber and the way that Kanan explains someone's relationship to their lightsaber, and it is a relationship. Like
Yeah,
it's literally, it feeds on you and your energy. Like it literally feeds on you and your energy. You're like you are physically connected to this weapon, right? Like you're so right about like the bow rifle is more than just
a weapon. It's
wow, we really just are talking at the same time.
I know.
that was kind of spooky, actually. That's why I was like, when you watch Droids in Distress, right, and the Zeb and Callus fight at the end of that, and Callus is like using a bow rifle that he took from a dead Lasat.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Because
and
that's like culturally significant. That's not just